Hey there, I wanted to give an update about our spring break time in Greensboro. It started with going to a church right outside Greensboro and doing a training, and God was just amazing, His timing. We were going in a trailer park and going door to door, and we ran into a mother and her two teenage sons, and they didn't speak English. And so we were getting ready to leave, and then a man comes out, and he spoke Spanish and English, and we were able to go over the gospel with him being the translator, and the mother and her two sons received Christ, and they even planned a time to be baptized. And then we were able to, a few days later, go over to UNCG with Matthew Chilton and Allie, and it was neat because we met another young man, Ryan, and he has a very similar heart. He and Matthew have been laboring with another young man, Cole, and we were able to get the gospel out and see one young man come to know the Lord, and then another young man saying, and two actually, who said, hey, yeah, we need fellowship. We need to bring Christ into this university. And so God did some amazing things, and I was so encouraged that through Matthew with his connection with Ryan and Cole and what God is doing there. And we look forward to continue just seeing things happen. Even though now that we've kind of had the campuses shut down, we're still in touch with them and trying to encourage them. So keep praying for what God's doing there. Both not just on campus, but also in the community. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Ben Admick, and recently I had the chance to go on the spring break mission trip down to Clemson University. There we partnered with our local sister church, and 45 people got to hear the gospel there, and we got a wide variety of responses. One event that really stood out to me and reminded me of the need and urgency of the Great Commission was this guy we talked with who said he knew his brokenness and that he was pretty far from God. Unfortunately, while he didn't come away from that conversation believing in Christ, what really stuck out to me was not only his honesty, but also, in spite of his apathy, that he gave us quite a bit of his time. Some might say that, oh, that was a dead end, but Jesus in John 4:37 said that it's true that one person sows and another reaps. And so we can have faith that regardless of how people responded to hearing his word, that God himself will see to how it takes root. And so we ask that you would please pray for Clemson University, that the conversations we had there wouldn't be put to waste, but that God would see that his word takes root, and also that God would take care of his people down there amidst these turbulent times. Take care and Godspeed.
Hey guys, this is Faith, and I was part of the spring break missions trip to Wake Tech, and it was a really awesome time. Had some really great laborers come together and to share the gospel, and we got to share at least 11 times with different students, and had several people want to meet back with us. One really cool story was with a girl named Tiffany that Ross and Ellie and I met, and Tiffany had been struggling with addiction for a big part of her life and just really struggling with a lot of different life situations. But over the past few months, God had really been working in her, and she had been clean from all of her addictions for several months, and she was just starting to really think about God in a new way and really kind of seeking him. So it was cool when God put us into her path, and she was just really excited to see the three circles and hear the story of Jesus, and she just happily received Jesus and for the first time, and it was awesome just seeing her going from death to life. And she's also eager to keep meeting with us, and we're hoping to do that soon. And there's also several other people that just had really cool stories from the mission trip time. So please keep praying for Wake Tech's campus. Things are really happening, even in light of recent events. People are still spurring each other on. We're meeting virtually, just getting creative in how to follow God's heart with our follow-up. And so just appreciate all your prayers. So thanks. See you later.
Hey everybody, we want to give you just a quick update of our trip to New York City. My first time in a big city, and definitely was quite the experience. Just being there as the pandemic was all kind of unfolding and things were happening. My first day there, you know, we found out that we're probably going to be restricted in, you know, what we did. And that Wednesday, we got a chance to just really go on what our host church, what they call just a prayer walk, and go into different spots where they're strategically looking for God to just do something big there. And so I felt like the whole trip, the theme of the trip was we spent a ton of time in prayer, which is really good to really understand just missions from that perspective. And so we were supposed to be on campus Thursday and Friday, but just with all the pandemic and the coronavirus, that they canceled classes and they took everything online. So it was definitely kind of a tough, you know, point that, man, I wish we had got a chance to get out sharing, but God had other plans for us, and we're actually in the neighborhood a little bit, having a chance to really meet just families in the neighborhood and the parks, and have like just really good conversations. Got a chance to talk with a couple of students at just a high school right there, and getting a chance to share the gospel with them, just meeting them on the street. And so God was definitely, he had definitely other plans for our trip, and it was just a blessing to be there for sure.
So we had a really great time on our spring break trip to Greece this year. It wasn't easy, but it was cool to see how the Lord was working situations together. And, you know, honestly, the theme this year more than ever was just relying on God and just putting the situation in his hands. It already was in his hands, but, you know, when we forget that, it makes things so much more difficult. But right before we left the United States, you know, things were getting a little bit tougher in the world in general, and we got an email from the folks that we were going to go help, and they said, you know, look, we can't have you. You can't come to the camp. You can't be here right now. There's a situation going on. It's turned a little violent, and we're not sending anybody for a while. And so that was really sad, you know, and we were kind of not really sure what to do. It threw us into a little bit of crisis, and, you know, still kind of seeking the Lord and saying, you know, is there still something for us to do? You know, the tickets are paid for, the reservations have to be changed, but, you know, an opportunity opened up for us to go elsewhere near Athens and do kind of similar work. And so we just kind of went, not really knowing what was going to happen. And I think it was a really encouraging time for the team. And like I said, the team had just a fantastic attitude. You know, we didn't know what the day was going to look like. And, you know, while we're over there, you know, there's this travel ban, you know, what are we going to do? How are we going to work through it? But they just, you know, they kind of kept taking things as they kept coming. And while we were there, we were able to partner with a ministry on the mainland that is seeing God do some amazing things among these refugees and their families. And so it was so encouraging to hear stories of how these folks are seeing Christ at work in the relationships there at the center, and among the team that's already there laboring, and how that has, you know, really opened up many of them, their hearts to see their own need for the gospel. And so the two main things that we got to do were, one, just to step into the work that they were doing and be a part of the atmosphere that they were creating, and to water and to sow as much as we could. But oftentimes conversations are a little bit hard. Not everyone there speaks enough English, or you probably don't speak enough of their language. And so, you know, we just kind of had to be open for what that might look like. And but the second thing I think that was really valuable was we got to be there with laborers who are seeing and just have a heart for the gospel, to be going out among these people. And so being able to be a part of what they were doing, and also we were able to serve them a little bit. We were able to find some needs that they had and try to meet them and try to help them have a little bit less to worry about, so they could labor a little more effectively. And so it was a great time, and, you know, Lord willing, we'll be able to go again. And I don't know, maybe you want to come with us.